All right, welcome back to Central Valley Talk. I'm Mike Scott on this Thursday, joined right now by Yvonne Schwemmer, who's making friends with little Robbie. Yvonne, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Mike.
You do voiceovers.
I do.
People can use your voice for different video projects, or probably on the radio too, or?
Correct. So narrations for corporate websites, e-learning. There's so many categories of voiceover that people would be quite surprised. I think the first thing people think of are animations, but there's many, many areas that need voicing.
What made you decide to do this as a career path?
Well, I've been in sales and product marketing for years. I'd worked for Pelco, if I can say Pelco.
Sure.
For 10 years.
Well, Schneider Electric.
Schneider Electric, thank you very much. I started when it was Pelco.
Pelco is bye-bye.
But, well, the brand's still there. But I was in product marketing management and did talking head stuff and some voiceover. And when it was time to start a new chapter of my life, I thought, sounds great. I think I've been a Toastmaster for many, many years, and workshops and seminars, so I thought it was a really relatively easy segue. Little did I know.
Little did you know. Did somebody say to you one day that, boy, you have a great voice for it?
You know, it's funny. There's a lot of people that get into voiceover work because someone said that. And while you don't need to have the voice of God, it's really what you do with the voice. And there's a lot more to it than I thought. Doing voice in Toastmasters or doing voice in a workshop seminar is different than doing voiceover work with the mic right here. It's a very intimate, concept. You're talking to one person, so that's how I got into it.
All right. You brought a little tape of an example of some of your work, right? This is veterans?
Yes, I'm a member of CMAC downtown, the Community Media Access Collaborative.
The old Fresno Met?
Yes, which is a great ancillary adjunct to what I'm doing. And one of my colleagues has Valley Veterans Forum, and I narrated for him on this piece.
Well, let's listen.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to Valley Veterans Forum. On the eve of Veterans Day here in 2014, we are so fortunate to have a very special guest with us today, retired Sergeant Justin Bond. Justin, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
And we can't ignore Boomer sitting there on the floor. And you, whoops, kind of woke him up there. And you told me earlier he's actually has a higher ranking than you do. Is that right?
You have to listen to him. If he tells me to calm down or to relax, then I'm supposed to listen.
Yeah.
So.
And does he do commands like? I've had the pleasure of being around him now for a couple hours, and he seems like he's a very well-behaved and proficient member. And he is actually an active member of the military. Is that correct?
No, he's not, but we do give him a rank. And he is very well-behaved. In fact, when we finished, I said, "Can you guys take my kids and train them?" And but they said they don't do kids. So.
And speaking of kids, I had the fortune to learn that. Well, that wasn't quite voiced over.
That's not a voiceover. You were hosting there, yeah.
I was, and I try to do interview stuff over at CMAC. I was out at World Ag Expo yesterday doing that because it's just a good skill development. But most of what I look to do is voice-over work or voice under.
Now, do you charge by the hour, by the project? How do you price yourself?
It really is a function. Either the client is dictating those terms.
Here's our budget.
This is what we're going to pay. This is our budget. Or then it may vary that the voice talent that I would say my terms are could be by finished hour, it could be by the project, by the minute, whether it's going to be non-broadcast or broadcast. So it's really quite a variable, and work with colleagues and what's happening in the industry to set those rates.
Have you ever done anything that's gone national?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, working with that in mind. Always you have to hold that carrot and that vision out in front. You know how that is.
Well, I do. But I've done some voiceover here for Central Valley Talk, so I know it's an interesting line of work. People think it's easy. Oh, you just talk. Well, it's not.
Well, I think the dichotomy of sounding natural on purpose. Is tremendous. As soon as people get a mic in front of them and they start trying to
How are you
doing? And then he went to the store. And inflections go all over the place, and it's pretty crazy. So it's a great art. I'm becoming very, very appreciative of it.
I always quote Dick Clark, one of my heroes, who years ago said, if people think that what you do is easy, then you're doing your job well.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's not easy, but if people think it is,
yeah,
then you're doing your job well.
Yeah.
I always keep that in mind. So, All right. So how can folks reach you if they're interested in maybe hiring you for a project? Or?
Well, they can go to my website, which is www.yourprovoice.com. My phone number's located there, but that is 559-776-8671.
Now, do you use your smartphone sometimes to just do your voice and send it out over the internet?
No, I don't.
You have a little studio?
I have a studio at home and a nice mic and, monitor headphones and so forth. So I'm set up and, can edit my own pieces and lay down some music if I need to. But
cool.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate the time with you today.
Well, and Robbie.
And with Robbie. What are we going to do now? You smile for the camera?
He likes you.
Yes, well, the feeling is very mutual. Thank you very much.
Look at that. Look at that. Yvonne Schwemmer, professional voiceover actress, available for your upcoming productions. And you heard about her right here on Central Valley Talk.